up in the room and we will get into what we got to talk about today. But we are just, I've just been kind of decompressing the last 2 days, thinking about everything that went on over this weekend, and what an awesome weekend it really was. The inspiration, we're gonna get into it, man. I promise you, I'm gonna say some things that are going to inspire you. I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about some of the team members, some of the new team members, and things like that on this ride to work, because I got a workout in and I left a little bit later than normal. So it's going to be a little bit of a ride. So I thought, you know what? I'll hop on here and do a quick live with you guys. So tap in, where you from? Let me know what the temperature is. I'm just checking to see if I got a jacket today because it's freezing out there. No, I'm playing. I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt. It's not that cold. It's like 60, but it'll probably be like 75, 80 a little bit later here. All right, so this weekend, if you guys didn't catch it, we were up here. We were up here at Stylecraft headquarters, and we actually had a hotel room, and we put together a big event. This event was comprised of multiple educators coming from all around the country, and I wanted to kind of just highlight a few of them, how they got there and how they got on, because I know a lot of you guys are interested in trying to find ways to potentially work with us, to potentially join the team. And if that interests you, drop a comment. I'm just curious. Said Fly Trying Barber, yo, what up? Jesus Ramirez, my instincts do not heat up at all. I've used them I even have some of the first editions, and some of them still have the same blade. So for the most part, I don't really run into that. If yours are heating up, there's probably a broke tooth in your blade, or you might have something else going on, might want to clean them out. Desmond Mitchell, what up, man? What's good? No, it was not open to the public, guys. This was invite only. So essentially the way it shakes up right now, Stylecraft has about 20 educators, and they are going to go around the entire country, and they're going to do about 300 plus events. Now, if we backtrack a little bit, we go back, you guys know about the 6 phases and the cosmetology crossover courses and all the stuff that I released on this channel probably almost 10 years ago. And I've refined it, tested it in the field, refined it. And then we also have another person on the team who's been on the team for a little while now, so it's not exactly new, but we actually have I'm the guy from Beast from Hunger Games. Whatever. But all right, so we actually have John Carlo. He was formerly a wall educator. And John Carlo has a resume like a mile long. And he has been doing education for such a long time. He has so much insight. So we got together, we created this curriculum, me and him, and that's what was taught to these educators so that they can go out and they can educate. So I want to highlight a few people that how they got involved with us, and just to give you guys an idea of like how you might be considered for our next education. So essentially what these guys are going to have to do is twice a year, they're going to have to fly out to us and continuing education. So that's kind of what's going on here. So one of the barbers I wanted to highlight, his name is J Fade Forever, and you guys can find him on Instagram there. And if you guys are following me on Instagram, I keep releasing information about them. So J Fade Forever, the way he got involved with us, I mean, it had to be like 4 or 5 shows last year that he just like, he showed up when it was time to open, paid his own way, paid his own dime, showed up when it was time to open, and he came to the booth and he just helped out. He helped answer questions. He was there in support of all of us all day long. And this guy did this for like 5 shows. It had to be, maybe it was 4, but I think it was about 5 shows where he was there all day until it was time to close. So when it came time to make a selection as far as like who's going to make it, who's not going to make it, obviously we're looking for people who are invested in the brand. We're looking for people who would go out of their own way to do something like that, and to pay your own way and to show up at all the shows and to be there helping us. That was just something that we could not ignore. So anyways, that was just one educator. Now Prince the Fit Barber, he's another one. I believe he's up there in Connecticut. He was another one who kind of did something similar. Like he kind of showed up at our booth. He had a lot of positivity. He was answering a lot of questions for people who were, passing by, and the guy was just unbelievable. I mean, people liked him. People gravitated towards him, especially the women. And he just had a way with, his whole presence and everything. So he actually did a couple of events out of pocket where he just was showing up and coming with us. And we couldn't deny it. We appreciated that. And we were just like, you know what? This guy wants it bad. And he is just a beast on social media right now. This man right here is literally spending, like, you should have seen him at the event. I mean, he was spending like every waking moment filming, editing, posting. He was easily one of the hardest working people there. L'Oreal the barber, she was another one who's a little bit new to the team, and I actually worked with her in CT Barber Expo. She was there with us for that one. She's just an absolute beast. She's got a lot of talent, and one thing I also got in common with her is we both are from Buffalo. She actually lives in Buffalo. She cuts hair in Buffalo, and she's done quite well for herself. And she's got a following of like 500,000 people on TikTok. Her videos are just super creative, and she was super awesome. And I think she's going to bring a lot to the table for us this year. Jay Barber, he's been with the Gamma team. This guy's already been doing events and stuff with us. And this kind of what this year was about was just like, we had worked with so many barbers, but we needed to really like kind of try to consolidate. And we needed to try to make sure that, everybody that we got on the team is who we really need and who we can actually feed. So it's kind of something like that. But there's so many more stories that I'm going to tell, and the recap video is going to come out on Monday. I'm pretty much done editing it now, but I'll release it. I'll release it this Monday. Hopefully the Bills win on Sunday. I'm really hoping for that to happen. I'll be in South Beach for another kind of business ordeal. Thank you. You guys are complimenting the beard. Appreciate you, man. But so essentially the way it went was this, man. Everybody that went there was there to really just become a better version of themselves. Everybody was grinding. Everybody was hustling. And we had them present in front of the whole group multiple times. And they had to put up with some pretty harsh criticisms for the first few times to just really get to really just get them to come out of their shell, get them to kind of present in a way that makes sense to the people. And I tell everybody, day one, you walk in my classroom, we're not here to sell nobody nothing. We are here to provide value to students. We are here to give the absolute best education we can. And if in exchange you choose to buy Stylecraft products, well, good on you. That's great. But when you see a lot of these kind of things, like a lot of times it's all about sales. Like, it is not about that. These people had some inspirational stories. They had some crazy talent. One of the guys is a Johnny B educator who we invited out to join us in this education. His name is Pat Paul. And I'll tell you what, man, everybody in that room, myself, John Carlo, all of us included, we all had something to learn from Pat Paul, because this guy, he just has a, I don't know what he's got, man, but he's got some kind of magic. He has a way of speaking and presenting where it is just like, it is just crazy how well he can cover every single thing that needs to be covered and do it in a way that's exciting. Like, I remember at the end of his presentation, these were 5-minute presentations. At the end of his 5-minute presentation, I looked at him and I'm like, my man, I feel like you just stole 5 minutes of my life from me, because it went by like that. So at the end of the day, there was a lot to be learned, and I was just completely inspired. Most of these guys are shop owners. A lot of these guys own their own brands. A lot of these guys have been, building big YouTube channels or TikTok channels or Instagram channels for quite some time. For the most part, I think the group was very cohesive, and we really left like feeling like a family. Cat Colors was another one. She just blew me away with the presentation. I think some of you guys have seen the recap video. A lot of us used that part to start it. She goes, I can't remember exactly the date, so YouTube, don't be upset about this, but she said something to the effect of, up until the 1920s, Coca-Cola still had cocaine in its ingredient list. And over the years, they had to change the formula. So the scenario was essentially, there's a group of older barbers watching her. They prefer corded clippers over cordless clippers. And what would you recommend to them, or what would you say to them? And she says, over the years, the formula changed. And what a way to just engage your audience by saying something like that. Carlos, he's Drastic Cart Barber. I don't know if you guys have seen him. If you know who Drastic is the man. This guy is a ball of energy. He pushed everybody in the room to new heights. He just was such a great encourager when people were struggling. Like, he's a true leader. He really is a true leader. And he has been on all of the biggest stages, doing all of the biggest stuff. And I can't even tell you how much value he brought to our team. But Drastic also works with level 3, and that's how he's on a lot of those stages. But he says, let's see if I can get this right. He says it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in war. Essentially, that would be how he started his presentation, giving you that like instantly you were hooked right in kind of feeling. And it's kind of more like a metaphor about like sharpening your skills and making sure that you're prepared for everything. This show season coming up is going to be a big one. The people who were at Stylecraft during this time are going to speak with tens of thousands of people, if not more. They're going to do tons of classes, and they're going to do tons of shows. So, I don't take that lightly. Like, I look at everybody in this room, and I know that they're going to go out and they're going to inspire people. And if they succeed or if they fail, it's a direct reflection on me and Giancarlo. And that's just the way I look at it. I like to look at things like, look, when I make a mistake, and I've made plenty, when I make a mistake, I don't ever try to blame it on nobody else. I'll go right at it, and I'll tell you guys, there's something called an accusation audit that you guys can consider. If you make a mistake, it would be kind of like, it's very disarming to the person you're responsible to. But I will tell you something that you can do to hopefully, overcome your mistake. But the number one thing is, you do not put it on somebody else. You do not, even if it's not your fault, you do not blame anybody but yourself, because the truth is, if there was a way that you could have stopped it from happening, if there was a way that you could have changed it and you didn't, well, guess what? It might be on other people too, but it is most certainly and most definitely on you. So one of the things you could say to the person you're responsible to is, look, I know what you're going to say about me. I dropped the ball. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I should have done this. I should have done that. And you just go through everything that they might accuse you of. And it's very disarming, because it kind of takes away all the ammunition. It's kind of like when Eminem in 8 Mile, when he got to that last battle scene and he took away all the ammunition from the guy by saying it. I mean, the guy literally had nothing left to say, and he just had to walk out. So when you make a mistake, you got to own up to it, and that's part of what we were trying to do, and that's always part of what I'm trying to do. So, everybody is going to do their best this year. They're going to go out, they're going to hit some high marks, and I feel so good, like, having had them in an environment where we can kind of simulate some of these things, and everybody grows. Now, if there's anybody in this room that thinks they know everything there is to know, just go ahead and drop a comment and say, I know everything there is to know, and I don't need to be taught no more. The reality is, no matter how long you do this, no matter how much of this you do, no matter how many students you meet, no matter how many shows and stages that you're a part of, there is always something more to learn. And I gotta say, kind of feels like the networking has just drastically improved over the last couple of years. When you go to shows, man, everybody's trying to fit into each other's picture. Everybody's trying to talk to each other. Everybody's trying to see, you know, where would this networking lead me? What about that? What about that? And little by little, everybody is starting to kind of come together in a lot of ways. I remember when I would go to shows, it feels like it was just a couple of years ago, but I would go to shows a few years ago. I'd be one of the only people walking around with a camera. I would be one of the only people doing it. It was like me, Chris Basio, maybe a handful of others, but I really don't remember that many other people doing this for as long as we have. Now we go to the show, and to be honest, it's kind of odd to see somebody not filming, to see somebody not trying to make content. And especially CT Barber Expo, like, holy shit, dude. Like, when I got done with that show and I'm on the plane and I'm just kind of like recapping everything in my head, what a great show. What a fun event. Probably the best event you could ever go to in barbering. You could never go to a better event than CT Barber Expo. I really don't think there is one. There's nothing like that. I think Jay Majors is an absolute genius, and the way that he put that together, along with the vibrations that just seem to be in the universe at the Mohegan Sun and everything like that. The first gimbal that he said, what gimbals were popular then? The first gimbal I really remember having was like the Ronin, the very first Ronin. And some of the first shows I did, we didn't even have a gimbal. You know, I did it with GoPros. I did it with usually a Sony a7S III, or I had a GH5. But just to see the amount of people who are now competing with one another for attention online, to be honest, it was pretty daunting. Like, I used to be something a little different, and I felt like I am definitely still a little different, but I was just kind of feeling like, holy crap, like the competition in this space, it's getting bigger and bigger, like literally every single minute. Not even every single day. So when you get right down to it, if you're going to be serious about doing something in this business, maybe it isn't social media. Maybe it's just building your chair. Like, all of these things that you got to do, you really have to make sure that you're consistent, and you really have to make sure that you're showing up. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be so much harder for you to grow online and for you to do things if you can't find ways to be creative, if you can't find ways to fit in. And to be honest, I think we all kind of struggle with that at times. I've been doing a lot of lives lately, but one of the things that I got to say though is, like, going up into the Christmas season, I worked so hard, I kind of burned myself out, man. I did so many videos, and I'm talking about, like, not just little rink-a-dink social media short videos, like long, arduous scripts that require a lot of brainwaves and a lot of thinking and then a lot of filming to back it up. And at the end of the day, like, that just kind of burned me out right at the end of the year, and I just didn't really have much left to give. So I'm recovering from some of that burnout, and you know, I'm thinking of some new angles and some new things that we're going to do this year. And one of these new things that we're going to do this year, we're going to be paying off barbers' tuitions, like, for real, and we're going to do multiple of them this year. So I'm actually really excited about that. There's a limit to how many tutorials I could really physically do. There's a limit to how many, like, product reviews that I could really see myself wanting to do. I have done over 900 videos at this point. It's probably about 1,000. And when you really get right down to it, I just personally need a creative change, and I want to do good with the world. I want to do good with the money I made. I want to do good with the with the channel I've grown, and I want to pay off people's barber tuitions who are in need, and I want to try to spread that message. So this is going to be beginning immediately in February, and we're gonna go after that. And then the other thing we're gonna start doing is I want to feature a lot of other barbers on this channel. I don't want it to be just me showing up. I want to have a little bit more diverse group, a little bit more people. You guys are liking my beard that much, man? My beard never gets this much attention. But this beard has been growing, I guess, for about 3 years. I got a son that's younger than this beard. Actually, he's probably like right around the time I started growing it. That's about how big he is. So, long story short, these are some of the things that I'm thinking, and we're probably going to, in all likelihood, start flying around to all of these instructors that you guys seen in all the videos, and some of our other influencers who were not present at that training. One of my goals is to hopefully fly out to each one of them. I'm going to film a tutorial or two from each one of them. I would like to podcast with them a little bit to get to know them inside and outside of the business. And when we get done with that, we're going to come back, and the YouTube channel is going to be a little bit of a wrap up on a lot of those other things. He said 3 years, good testosterone body. Well, you ain't kidding. We hit the gym today. How many of you guys hit the gym today? Drop a comment. Let me just do like a random poll. I'm going to tell you guys something I dropped on my Instagram story yesterday. It was true. There was a lady working out at the gym. I mean, to be honest, I would say more than likely she was probably actually closer to 80, but she was not a day younger than 79. So, long story short, I seen her come in the gym. I seen her get up on the treadmill. I actually checked to see how fast she had the treadmill. She had it at 5.5 miles an hour. She had the incline at 5. And while I did my entire workout, which was about 40 minutes, she was still on that treadmill. And I thought to myself, if this 80-year-old woman could pull herself out of bed, drag herself up to the gym, and had the mental fortitude to stay on this treadmill for over 40 minutes, that, to me, that was nothing short of impressive. Like, maybe some of you guys would look at this like, oh my God, it's no big deal. Like, some old lady got on. Like, I know how hard it is to drag myself to the gym sometimes. So the fact that she's there and it's a lot harder for her, I thought to myself, what is everybody else's excuse? You know, if she could show up and she could do this, I feel like she should be an influencer. Because like me just literally seeing her and noticing that, I felt pretty like inspired. I'm like, damn, I hope by the time I'm 80 years old, if God willing I make it that long, I hope by the time I get there that I'm able to do something like that or continue working out. So this beard love is kind of getting out of hand. You guys are all about the beard today. I've never got so many comments about I've had it for 3 years. I mean, I don't know why you guys are like, you know, it didn't grow any more today than it did the other day. I literally blew it dry. I haven't had a haircut in a week or so. So I'm gonna get, he said, I can tell this guy has huge hog by his beard. That's funny, bro. So, all right. I haven't had a haircut in a while. I'm gonna have to get a haircut. We're going out to South Beach on Sunday. So it's South Beach is a whole nother animal. It's not really like you kind of got to go there to see it. I mean, you'll see some crazy stuff. But one of the craziest things that happened to us in South Beach was we went to a restaurant. It was actually the Social Club. I'll even tell you guys the restaurant because what happened here was crazy. But me and a guy who owns Salon Back Bar, David, me and him, we ordered burgers. They both came wrong, so we sent them back. I get my next burger. He gets his burger. He ordered it with no cheese, and they brought it back with cheese again for him. Mine was fine. So now he opens the burger, And he's like, yo, there's cheese on it. He sends it back. Okay, sir, we'll cook you another one. They come back. They obviously did not cook another one. They just peeled the cheese off and put it back down. So now he opens the bun to check for cheese again, and there's a bite already taken out of it. We were laughing so hard that a restaurant literally served us a burger that had a bite taken out of it. And the best part about the whole story was that was actually my first burger, because my crooked ass teeth left that bite mark in there. And I was laughing probably the hardest because I knew it was me who took the bite out of the burger. Now, this restaurant charges like $40 for a burger. And it was just like so funny. We laughed so hard, but like when we got done, David tore this waitress and the manager a new you know what. He tore her a new one, and the manager comes out. Now, there was like 14 of us eating and drinking and being merry. So our bill probably was easily, I'm just gonna say, like, I'm gonna go conservative here. Our bill was probably around $3,000 to maybe $4,000 at this point, with all the drinking and food that we ordered. They came out, they comped the whole thing, and they brought us all another shot in recompense. And that was pretty much how that one ended. But I never expected something like that to happen at a place as nice as the one we went, you know? So crazy stuff happens at South Beach. And every year we go to this show, it's like another adventure, and you never know quite what you're gonna see. He said it sounds made up. Yeah, all right. You can believe that if you want to. I really don't care. I'm just telling you guys, if you go to the social club, you're right. You know what? It does sound made up. Like, even sometimes I look at this, and even sometimes I can't believe that this actually happened. But it did. So I think as soon as this one's over, we have a little while before the spring comes. And once the spring comes, show season is going to start again. And it's going to be a crazy bananas year. What the hell is going on here? There's like a Ford Lightning in Sonny's parking space. I'm trying to, all tinted out. That thing is all tinted out. I thought that was Johan for a second. But all right, y'all, we are at the shop. Listen, if I can go live, if I got a customer that I can go live on in a little bit, I'll pop the live back on, and we'll jump on here, and that'll be about it. So for now, this is the YouTube Barber Academy. Over 900 videos to help you learn, and I will catch you guys in my next video. I'm out. Peace.